everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Hannibal reaction video. Today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to Season 2, Episode 3 of Hannibal. So, last episode kind of left us off in a pretty interesting, exciting place as Dr. Lecter's therapist, fantastic Gillian Anderson, playing Dr. Bedelia Dumare, came to see Will and basically let him know that she believes him about Hannibal being the actual killer and setting him up and playing mind games with him. So Will finally has someone who believes in what he's saying and someone who knows Hannibal probably better than most people around do. But her realizing the danger that she's in, she basically told Will that and then fled, ran for her life, which we saw was a good thing because Hannibal definitely was going to her house to kill her. Yeah, so Will has at least somebody else who is kind of confirming his suspicions, his beliefs, so he can get some sort of solid grounding in the idea that, hey, I'm not totally crazy in thinking this, but he's still on his own. Yeah. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. Looking forward to continuing down this path of how do we get to what we saw in the first episode, which is Jack and Hannibal having a brutal fight after Jack presumably finds out the truth. So, episode 3.
Screening procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
But you felt that he was qualified to work in the field.
under my supervision.
And you believed that he was valuable because he could think like a killer.
He could think like anybody.
Sounds like a supervillain. 5 horrendous murders.
Let's
Over
scare the
40
jury.
different pieces of forensic and physical evidence that tell us
Well, I
that
guess
Will
that's what
Graham
she
can
wants.
think like a killer because he is one. Rather than feel tormented by the work he did, Will Graham enjoyed the cover his role at the FBI gave him to commit his terrible crimes.
I don't know.
I don't believe that to be
yeah,
true.
even Jack is like, no. I saw what he went through.
Agent Crawford?
Ooh, she's not happy
Will
though.
hated every second of the work. He hated it. He didn't fake that.
Yes.
He hated it, and I kept making him do it.
Why then is it that when you offered him an opportunity to quit, he refused?
Because he was saving lives.
Jack's made a
I've
big
been
step.
warned by more than one person that if I pushed Will, I'd break him. I put those checks and balances in place, then ignored them. And here we are.
Big move by Jack.
Advertising trivializes, it manipulates, it's vulgar.
So's the law. We have to create desire to find you not guilty, which is non-existent.
Any of you
in this
guys watch
world
The Expanse?
right
'Cause
now. We're manipulating people into buying something they don't
aired,
need.
right?
They don't want your innocence. Thank you. Unconsciousness and free package.
Aired, right?
That I can sell. If I take the moral high ground with you, I'll get you killed. I think I'll open your mouth. Tell me, Jack, was your testimony meant to be a resignation?
I mean,
There is something appealing about walking away from all the noise. I'm content to let the chips fall.
The magic door is always attractive.
Mads looks really good in this episode. Look at that
You and
suit.
the little birds behind.
I've given my life to death.
And now death has swallowed you home. Come to live in your house.
Bella has kept our bedroom from looking too much like a sick room.
They haven't talked about
There are
this in a while.
flowers, but not too many, you know. She insists that there are no pills in sight. So I've been thinking about taking her to Italy where we met. We could. She could die there at the beginning of Will's trouble.
Mm.
Such a gift has great significance.
Gift from who?
Will claim someone else committed the crimes he's accused of.
He said that person was you.
Perhaps he was half right.
Oh, Hannibal. Seeing a chance here?
Well, you gotta be kidding me.
It hadn't occurred to me to send you any help.
You sure?
I'm grateful someone has.
You shoved one down his throat.
Gratitude has a short half-life.
So can doubt. I have new thoughts about who you are. I may very well be another killer.
I want there to be.
Some part of you still suspects me.
I don't know what anyone is capable of anymore, least of all myself. But, I know there is no evidence against you.
There never was.
Accusing you makes me look
Well, of
insane.
course there never was. Hannibal is very clever.
I'm not insane. Not anymore.
You may not be guilty.
Yeesh. Well, that's a...
Murdered his victim first, then mutilated him. Cassie Boyle's lungs were removed when she was still breathing. George imagined she was burned alive. What I found of Abigail was cut off while her heart was beating.
Sadism
And this
slacking here.
is blunt reproduction.
You knew that already.
I'd like to have been wrong.
Hawkins Broom. You intentionally ignored facts that refute your argument, hoping nobody would notice.
You noticed. I wanted to dispel your doubts once and for all.
My doubts about what?
Me. I want you to believe in the best of me.
But what does that
Just as I
mean
believe in the
for
best of
you, Hannibal? I don't think it means the same thing it
This
means to
crime
Will.
offered us both reasonable doubt.
It offered us a distraction.
Maybe this acolyte is giving you your path to freedom. Even Jack is ready to believe Will.
Will's like, are you telling me?
And faced with the possibility of committing such deeds, will find an alternative reality to believe in.
You don't blame him for that?
No. Will Graham is, and will always be my friend.
Your witness. Here to be put on display.
Well, he's just as blind as mindless and heartless. How did the killer get so close?
No
Hannibal?
sign of a struggle. Mutilation was
This
postmortem.
is pure Hannibal
Shot
stuff.
her chest just like
Oh,
the bailiff.
well, the mutilation
Can't
is
see the,
post-mortem, though.
injury wound because he removed the heart. But there was an exit wound.
Yeah, but this
Slot.
one...
Must have taken him with him.
A trophy.
No. This judge's death, there will be no verdict. No ending, it'll start again. Like the trial never happened. But why?
Psychopathic violence is predominantly goal-oriented. Means to a very particular end.
Yeah. Most of what Hannibal does is goal-oriented, right?
It's an elegant, if rather unorthodox solution.
He spares Will a guilty verdict and his life for the moment.
Yes.
The question is it the same killer? Is Will still on trial in your mind?
The use of a gun, Death first, mutilation last. I feel like St. Peter ready to deny Wolf for the third time. I'm not sure this is the same killer, Jack.
It's like, come, follow me. I shall save you. Through my lies.
Well,
It's interesting.
I was hoping a verdict would have helped.
What do you want?
I want to save you.
Well, all right. Well, that was episode 3. Another interesting episode as we continue the dance between Will and Hannibal, of each one of them kind of playing their own game with each other and pretending that they don't know maybe what the other one's up to. Although I am not fully certain if Hannibal is totally aware of what it is that Will is doing. I'm sure that he suspects that Will is trying to, like, play with him somewhat in order to perhaps, like, dig for some information that he can use. He still has this belief that Hannibal is possibly the killer. I don't think that Hannibal is convinced that Will has just wiped the slate clean with him, and thinks that he's completely off the hook or anything. But he might not be fully aware of, like, the extent of Will's commitment to this notion that it's actually Hannibal. But they both know that they're playing some sort of manipulative game with each other, I would argue. Though they don't necessarily know exactly what's happening or the full extent of the gameplay and motives of the other person. There's a dance that's happening. And it's curious to see kind of the subtext too, because you have that conversation with Will and Hannibal where Hannibal is basically saying, hey, you've got a window of opportunity here, potentially. This other person could be blamed for everything. Jack wants to buy it. This could get you off. I don't really want you in prison. Where Hannibal's saying, but I'm not going to admit that it's me to get you out of prison or anything like that. But hey, you got this opportunity. And Will's sitting there and he's thinking, yeah, I don't want to be here. This could potentially be an opportunity. But at the same time, I don't think this is necessarily all one killer, aka you. There's another person out there that still needs to be held accountable, and it would be a lie for me to just, put everything on them and let you go free necessarily. And so it's an interesting dance and game that they're playing, and seeing both of them kind of having conflicting emotions about what's going on. This was a big episode for Jack, too, I have to say. First, we got to get a bit more information and insight into how he's feeling in regard to Bella and her getting closer to passing away. And that's something that they haven't really touched upon in quite a few episodes. So it's kind of brutal to me hearing Hannibal having those conversations with him about that. And Jack, like, being kind of vulnerable to him as a friend, the same way that Will had been all throughout the first season. And Hannibal sitting there, kind of acting sympathetic, and you just, you get a sense that he did like Jack's wife and everything, but Hannibal, he's a sadist, right? He's a sadist. We know this from the way that he kills, what he likes to do. He likes to play games with people. You just get this cringing sense that he's sitting there, like, enjoying or like somehow just soaking up Jack's intimacy coupled with his misery. And it's like, no wonder Jack is gonna lose his mind and want to kill him when he finds out the truth. But yeah, so like I said, it was a big episode for Jack, not just in that, but in that he was willing to really kind of stand up for Will there, even if he's not, willing to go out on a total limb and say Will's definitely, totally innocent, he's not guilty, he didn't do anything. He's at least, willing to put himself out there and say, I don't believe that Will is like a sadistic psychopath who was trying to cover everything up. I recognize that he hated what he was doing. I'm the one that pushed him. So Jack taking a big risk on Will's behalf and risking blowing up his own career, and it was a big moment for him. But yeah, this was mostly the Hannibal Will dance in this episode again, and it was good. It was interesting to see, and we're gonna be pressing forward with this. I see now that Jack is more somewhat on Will's side. Alana is also on Will's side, but in a different sort of way. And you could say that Hannibal's on Will's side in his own twisted kind of version, where it seems like now he's actually kind of trying to get Will out of this. He doesn't want him locked up there, but at the same time, he's the reason he's there, and I don't know if that's sort of what Will's kind of dream vision was symbolizing, with the stag is actually, leading him out, but Hannibal is standing there leading him back in, so he's kind of, playing both ways. But another really good episode. So what do you guys think? You enjoying the mind games that are happening? And is there anything else that you think that I missed that I should touch upon? Chilton also very entertaining this episode, of course. Can't ever completely leave that to the side. But all right, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Thank you very much for joining me again today, everybody, and hopefully I will see you next time for the next episode. Bye.